Have you ever felt that life is listening to you, even when no one else seems to hear? According to Jungian psychology, every thought, every feeling, and every moment of inner reflection carries a vibration that shapes your reality. The mind is not just a private theater. It is a signal tower, broadcasting into the universe, and the universe is always responding. Today we'll explore how your inner state, your fears, your desires, and even your doubts are not random. They are part of a dialogue with life itself. And yes, the universe has been listening all along. Absolutely. Here's an expanded, 750-word seamless segment for Key Point 1. Your thoughts are signals, not noise. In the style you requested, when we speak of thoughts, we often dismiss them as fleeting, as if they are random sparks in the mind with no consequence, no weight, no direction. Yet, the mind is far from a meaningless noise machine. Every thought, whether you recognize it or not, is a signal sent into the vast field of existence. It is not a whisper lost in the wind, nor a shadow vanishing in the dark. It is a vibration, a pulse, a call that echoes far beyond the confines of your conscious awareness. You have been taught to regard your mind as separate from the world outside, to see it as a private theater, a lonely stage where internal dramas play for an audience of one. But the truth is far more profound. Your inner life is a transmitter, and the universe has always been listening. Consider for a moment the ideas you repeat to yourself every day. Those thoughts that seem insignificant, those passing doubts, fleeting hopes, and quiet wishes, they are far from trivial. The mind is not just an internal organ of reasoning. It is the very architect of reality. Each repeated thought sends a ripple outward, forming a pattern that the universe reads with perfect clarity. When you tell yourself you are unworthy, when you dwell on lack, fear, or frustration, the universe receives that vibration. It responds not with judgment, but with alignment. It mirrors back the energy you send. And when you cultivate thoughts of gratitude, love, possibility, and vision, that, too, is received, shaping the currents that move toward you. Many fear the power of the mind because they believe they are powerless to control what arises in thought. They imagine that fleeting doubts or fears are proof that they are failing or that the universe is ignoring them. But the nature of thought is not binary. It is not simply good or bad. It is a language. Every idea, every image, every fragment of imagination is a syllable in a conversation you are having with existence itself. The difference lies not in avoiding thoughts, but in noticing them, in consciously observing the patterns they form, and in understanding that repetition carries weight. Imagine your thoughts as drops of water falling into a still pond. One drop creates a ripple, two drops create intersecting waves, and over time, the pond is transformed. This is how the mind communicates with the unseen. The universe does not act randomly. It responds to the resonance of your inner state. If your thoughts are scattered, anxious, or contradictory, the signals sent outward are equally fragmented. But when your mind cultivates clarity, intention, and focus, those signals strengthen. Like a beam of light cutting through fog, it is also essential to recognize that not all thoughts need to be commands or desires. Some are seeds of reflection, questions, curiosities, and wonderings. These, too, are signals. They are invitations to engage more deeply with life, to pay attention to what is emerging around you, and to understand the subtle ways in which the world communicates back. Even the thoughts you consider negative hold information. They reveal inner conflicts, unresolved fears, and patterns that require acknowledgement. The universe hears these signals not to punish you, but to guide you toward balance, to offer insight and opportunity for transformation. Many people believe that powerful thinking is reserved for extraordinary moments or rare acts of inspiration. Yet, the quiet, everyday dialogue in your mind is where the real work occurs. The cumulative weight of ordinary thoughts, repeated consistently, is what forms the architecture of your life. Consider this: the universe does not distinguish between your loud proclamations and your silent contemplations. Both are received, both are responded to. The mind is a medium, and like all mediums, The quality of what is transmitted determines the quality of what returns. This understanding calls for a new relationship with your own mind, a relationship of respect, attention, and intentionality. To think is to create, whether you intend to or not. To dwell on fear is to invite limitation. To imagine possibilities, to cultivate curiosity, to nurture gratitude and vision, is to extend a hand to the universe saying, I am ready, I am listening, I am participating. This is not magic, it is a law, an inevitable reciprocity, a dialogue in which you are always both speaker and listener. So, when you catch yourself lost in thought, when the mind races or doubts, remember that these are not idle musings. They are not meaningless, they are signals. Every idea carries weight, and every repeated thought forms a pattern that the universe can perceive. You are always communicating, always transmitting, always shaping the currents that flow through your life. Your mind is not a private theater, it is a signal tower broadcasting into existence, and the universe has been listening. It is common to believe that life responds to what we say, to the requests we make with our voices, to the goals we announce aloud to the world. We think that if we speak clearly enough, if we demand enough, or if we plead long enough, the universe will answer in kind. Yet, the truth is far more subtle and far more profound. Life does not respond merely to the words that pass through your lips. It responds to the state that lives within you. Your heart, your emotional landscape, the quiet convictions and fears that shape your inner world. These are the true language that the universe reads. Words are secondary and sometimes even deceptive, because they can be spoken without belief, without alignment, without real presence. Think about how often someone may say, I am ready for success, yet every thought, every feeling, and every action conveys doubt, fear, or resistance. The universe does not judge, it simply aligns. It does not take your words at face value if your inner state communicates something different. It listens not only to what you request, but to what you embody. Your internal world carries a resonance far stronger than your spoken intentions. This is why so many prayers, affirmations, or declarations fall flat. Not because the universe ignores them, but because the inner self has not yet matched the outer expression. Your emotional state is a signal of your alignment. Anger, anxiety, impatience, and resentment carry vibrations that the universe cannot overlook. They are read with the same clarity as thoughts of love, gratitude, hope, and trust. When your heart is aligned with your highest vision, when your inner state resonates with faith, courage, and openness, life moves to meet you. When your heart is fractured, conflicted, or closed, life responds in kind, not as punishment, but as reflection, as feedback. This is not a system of reward and punishment. It is a mirror, showing you what has already been cultivated within. Consider how often we speak words we hope to be true, even as our inner state contradicts them. We may say, I am confident, yet feel fear lurking beneath every step. We may say, I trust the process, yet our mind is crowded with worry and doubt. Life responds not to the words, but to the feeling that underlies them. The universe does not mistake the mask for the face. It sees, it senses, it resonates with the emotional signature we emit. Your inner truth carries more weight than all the declarations you could ever make. This understanding invites a new approach to life, one that requires deep self-awareness and integrity. It calls for the courage to examine your emotional landscape, to acknowledge the fears and beliefs that silently drive your behavior, and to consciously cultivate an inner state that matches the reality you wish to create. Alignment is not achieved through force or insistence, but through presence, through clarity of heart, and through the nurturing of the emotional currents that shape your inner world. When your heart and mind are in agreement, when your feelings, thoughts, and intentions resonate together, the signals you send out are clear, coherent, and powerful. It is also essential to recognize that alignment is not about perfection. You do not need to banish every fear, every doubt, every moment of uncertainty. Life is not a test to pass, but a dialogue to engage in. What matters is the direction of your inner state, the overall quality of your emotional landscape. Are you leaning toward openness, trust, gratitude, and love, or are you steeped in resistance, negativity, and fear? The universe hears this orientation more clearly than the loudest speech, the most insistent demand, or the most elaborate declaration. Many people misunderstand the subtlety of this truth, thinking that they must act perfectly or feel perfectly to be heard. Yet, the universe responds to sincerity, to effort, to authenticity. It resonates with the intention behind your inner state, not with the perfection of your performance. Even small shifts in awareness, even minor changes in how you carry yourself internally, ripple outward and affect the patterns of life around you. These ripples grow, accumulate, and eventually become waves of transformation. To live with this understanding is to live with responsibility and empowerment. You are never helpless, never ignored, never separate from the forces of life. The quality of your inner state, the honesty of your heart, and the clarity of your emotions are the levers through which reality responds. Words may open doors, but your inner resonance is what actually moves the key. You are always communicating, always signaling, always affecting the flow of life, not through speeches, petitions, or demands, but through the state you cultivate within. So, when you speak, when you ask, when you wish, remember this: the universe listens first and foremost to the state of your heart, the pulse of your emotions, and the integrity of your inner being. Words are mere decoration if your inner world does not carry the vibration of what you seek. Align the heart with the voice, the feeling with the thought, the inner state with the outer intention, and the response you desire will follow naturally. We often believe that when something we desire does not arrive immediately, it has been denied to us. We measure the universe with impatience, as if time were a limited resource, and if it does not deliver on our schedule, it has somehow failed. But this is a misunderstanding of the natural rhythm of life. The delays, the pauses, the waiting periods that stretch longer than we expect are never signs of neglect. They are the subtle, deliberate preparation of forces beyond our immediate perception. The universe is not slow, it is precise, and it always orchestrates the unfolding of life with perfect timing. Consider the times in your own life when you longed for a change, a breakthrough, or an opportunity, only to face a delay. At first, the waiting felt frustrating, even painful. You questioned whether your efforts were wasted or whether your prayers, wishes, or intentions had gone unheard. And yet, looking back, you can often see that those very moments of pause were necessary. They were shaping your readiness, building your capacity, and creating the circumstances that would allow your desire to manifest fully, rather than partially or prematurely. What feels like delay is often the universe quietly preparing the stage for your arrival. The challenge lies in perception. We tend to equate speed with success and immediacy with correctness. We want things now, and when they do not appear, we misinterpret the silence as denial. But the universe does not operate according to the calendar of human urgency. It responds to readiness, to alignment, to the growth and maturity that must occur before the desired outcome can sustain itself. To receive before we are ready is to invite chaos, disappointment, or even loss. The delay is protective. It is a teacher disguised as absence, a guide leading us to the place where we can fully embrace what is coming. It is also essential to recognize that preparation is not always visible. We may not see the connections being made, the lessons being absorbed, or the inner shifts taking place during these pauses. Growth is not always dramatic or obvious. Sometimes it is quiet, subtle, almost imperceptible, like the gradual strengthening of roots beneath the soil before a tree bursts into bloom. You may not feel ready, and you may not understand the purpose of the waiting, but the unseen work is taking place. You are being shaped in ways that words cannot capture and that logic cannot measure. Patience, then, is not merely a passive state. It is an active participation in the unfolding of your life. It is a conscious choice to trust the process, to maintain faith even when the visible signs are few, and to continue nurturing the inner alignment that prepares you for what is coming. During these times of delay, you are invited to reflect, to refine, and to strengthen. You are given the space to release attachments to outcome, to practice gratitude for the present, and to cultivate the internal resources that will allow you to step fully into the reality you desire. Many fail to see delay as preparation because they are focused solely on the arrival of the end result, rather than on the transformation required to receive it. They ask, "Why has this not happened yet?" without asking, "Am I ready for it? Can I meet it with the clarity, courage, and composure it demands?" The universe is patient, but it is also precise. Every moment of waiting is an invitation to deepen, to grow, and to prepare the inner soil so that when the opportunity arrives, it can flourish without resistance or fragility. It is in the quiet periods, in the waiting, that we discover our capacity for trust, our ability to surrender, and our willingness to align with forces greater than our own understanding. We learn that life does not act impulsively, it acts with wisdom. The timing may test our patience, but it also ensures that what arrives is not only what we want, but what we are ready to embrace fully. Delays are not interruptions, they are intentional pauses, ensuring that when the doors finally open, we can walk through without hesitation, without fear, and without limitation. So, when you feel the frustration of waiting, when the universe seems silent or slow, remember that this is not denial. It is preparation. It is the careful orchestration of conditions, the shaping of your inner self, and the alignment of circumstances so that what you have asked for can arrive at the right time, in the right way, and with the fullness it requires. Trust the pause, honor the waiting, and understand that the universe is always silently, meticulously preparing you for what is to come. There is a tendency in human nature to view rejection or obstacles as failures, as evidence that life is against us, or that our desires are impossible to attain. We see a door closed and immediately feel a sense of loss, of disappointment, of frustration. Yet the universe rarely closes a door without reason, and rarely does it act without purpose. What appears as a denial, a setback, or an ending is often a redirection, a subtle, hidden answer to a question we have not yet fully understood. Every closed door is not a rejection, it is a signpost, guiding us towards something better aligned with our growth, our potential, and our ultimate path. Think for a moment about the opportunities you have longed for, the paths you have pursued, only to find that they were blocked, delayed, or inaccessible. At first, the experience may have felt unjust, even cruel. You may have asked yourself, "Why is this not happening for me? What did I do wrong?" And yet, if you look back, you often realize that the closed doors protected you from outcomes that were not in harmony with your highest good. They redirected you toward opportunities that, while unexpected, were more meaningful, more aligned, and ultimately more fulfilling. The universe responds not to desire alone, but to alignment, readiness, and resonance. A closed door is a sign that the energy of the path you were pursuing was not yet in harmony with who you are or what you are becoming. The challenge lies in perspective. Humans tend to equate closure with loss and immediate disappointment with failure. We resist what we cannot control, attempting to force our will upon circumstances that are not yet ready to yield. Yet resistance only creates frustration and prolongs the journey. The true wisdom is to pause, to reflect, and to ask what the closed door is signaling. What does it reveal about your path, your inner state, or your readiness for what you seek? Every barrier carries a message, and understanding that message requires patience, discernment, and the willingness to see beyond the immediate disappointment. Closed doors also provide an opportunity for introspection. They invite us to examine our intentions, our motivations, and our alignment with the deeper currents of life. Perhaps the path you were pursuing was driven by fear, by attachment, or by the expectations of others rather than by your true self. The universe, in its quiet wisdom, intervenes to steer you away from choices that might have seemed desirable on the surface, but were not aligned with your soul's direction. Every rejection, every obstacle, every no, is an opportunity to recalibrate, to refine your vision, and to pursue what resonates more deeply with your essence. There is also a hidden generosity in these moments. When one door closes, it makes space for another to open. One that you might never have imagined, but that is perfectly suited to your path. The timing may not be immediate, and the alignment may take patience, but the universe is constantly rearranging circumstances, preparing openings that you could not have foreseen. Closed doors are not barriers, they are invitations to trust the invisible orchestration of life, to surrender the illusion of control, and to allow your path to unfold in a way that is greater than your own design. Consider the nature of life itself. It is a series of events, encounters, and experiences, many of which appear contradictory or inconvenient at first glance. The closed doors, the moments of rejection, the times when the answer is not yes, they are all part of a larger rhythm, a pattern of growth that cannot be rushed or manipulated. The universe operates with a precision that often surpasses human understanding. What we perceive as delay, denial, or disappointment is actually guidance, protection, and alignment in motion. The wisdom lies in recognizing this, in trusting that the no we face is not a denial of our desires, but a redirection toward their highest expression. The key, then, is to cultivate the awareness, to see beyond the immediate reaction of disappointment, to embrace closed doors as opportunities for insight, growth, and preparation, to trust that the universe is listening, observing, and responding with precision, even when the response does not match our immediate wishes. Every rejection, every obstacle, every closed path carries within it a hidden answer, a message, a lesson, and an opportunity for transformation. When we shift our perspective, we begin to see that life is not a series of obstacles, but a series of invitations, each guiding us toward alignment, wisdom, and fulfillment. So, when the door before you shuts, when an opportunity is denied, when life seems to resist, remember that it is not rejection but redirection. The universe is guiding you, preparing you, and opening space for what is truly aligned with your growth and your purpose. Life often seems random, chaotic, and unpredictable. We move through days, weeks, and months, believing that events happen by chance and that we are passive observers, subject to circumstances beyond our control. And yet, if we pay close attention, patterns emerge. Moments occur that feel too precise to be coincidental, encounters happen that seem orchestrated, and signs appear that carry a weight and meaning impossible to ignore. These are synchronicities, the subtle, extraordinary ways in which the universe communicates back, whispering that it is listening, that it is present, and that it is responding to the energy you send out. Synchronicities are not always loud or dramatic. Often, they are quiet, almost imperceptible, yet they carry profound significance. Perhaps it is a chance meeting with someone who provides insight at exactly the moment you need it, or an unexpected message that resonates deeply with a question you have been carrying. Maybe it is seeing the same number repeatedly, encountering repeated symbols, or experiencing a series of events that align so perfectly it feels as though the world itself is guiding you. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations, feedback, and gentle guidance, offered in a language that transcends words, logic, and conventional understanding. The mind tends to overlook these moments, dismissing them as luck, chance, or imagination. Yet the universe speaks in subtle ways, not in ways that overwhelm or force, but in ways that invite awareness, reflection, and participation. The more attuned you become to the flow of life, the more these synchronicities reveal themselves. They are the universe's way of saying, "I hear you. I am responding. I am aligning circumstances to reflect what you have cultivated within." Every repeated sign, every timely encounter, every moment of perfect timing is a mirror of your inner state, a reflection of the energy, intention, and alignment you carry. Consider how often you have experienced a moment when something unexpected occurs, and yet it feels inevitable. Perhaps you are thinking about a solution to a problem, and the answer appears in a conversation with a stranger. Perhaps you are struggling with a decision, and a seemingly random event clarifies the path forward. These are not accidents, they are the universe's whispers, signaling that your thoughts, feelings, and intentions have been received, acknowledged, and acted upon. The world is far more responsive than we often give it credit for, and synchronicities are the evidence of this responsiveness. Synchronicities also serve as a form of validation. When you are uncertain, struggling, or questioning whether you are on the right path, these subtle signs appear to reassure you. They confirm that your inner work, your focus, your clarity, and your alignment are being recognized by forces far greater than your immediate perception. They remind you that life is intelligent, conscious, and connected, and that your journey is not random but guided. These moments encourage trust, patience, and confidence, even when the path ahead remains unclear. It is essential to cultivate awareness and receptivity to notice these signs. The world often seems noisy, cluttered with distractions, and we can easily miss the subtle cues offered by life. Synchronicities require a quiet mind, a present heart, and an openness to receive. They demand that we pay attention to timing patterns and the nuances of interaction. When we do, we begin to see that life is not a series of disconnected events, but a web of interconnected experiences, each one offering insight, guidance, and alignment. There is also a deeper lesson embedded in synchronicities. They teach us that our internal state, our thoughts, our intentions, and our emotions are not isolated from the world. What we carry within us, our focus, our clarity, our fears, our hopes, affects the unfolding of events around us. The universe responds not only to what we consciously ask for, but also to the vibration of our being. Synchronicities are reflections of that resonance, indicators that our inner world and the outer world are in dialogue, shaping and influencing each other continuously. Many people overlook or dismiss these moments because they expect the universe to respond in grand, unmistakable ways. They seek dramatic signs, sudden miracles, or visible interventions, and when these do not occur, they assume nothing is happening. Yet the universe often communicates in quiet, precise, and elegant ways. It whispers, nudges, and arranges circumstances with subtle intelligence. Synchronicities are an invitation to slow down, pay attention, and recognize that the world is alive, responsive, and intimately connected to your inner state. To live in alignment with synchronicities is to cultivate trust, presence, and openness. It is to understand that nothing is random, and that every encounter, event, or repeated sign carries meaning. It is to engage with life as an active participant rather than a passive observer, noticing the delicate orchestration of circumstances and embracing the subtle guidance offered. These moments are not just confirmations of desire, they are lessons, reminders, and invitations to align more fully with the flow of existence. When you begin to see synchronicities as the language of the universe, you realize that you are never alone, never unheard, and never disconnected from the forces that shape your reality. The world is listening, responding, and reflecting back to you the signals you send. These whispers, repeated encounters, and perfectly timed events are proof that your intentions are being received and that life is continually offering guidance, clarity, and alignment. So, pay attention to the signs, notice the repetitions, and trust the seemingly small coincidences. They are not random. They are the universe whispering back, letting you know that you are heard, seen, and aligned with the flow of life. Do you want me to proceed with that? We often carry a belief that the universe must prove itself to us, that we need evidence, control, or certainty before we can allow ourselves to trust. Yet trust is not something that the world grants, it is something we cultivate within. It is the final unlocking, the key that transforms alignment into manifestation, intention into reality, and hope into experience. Without trust, all of the signals, synchronicities, and preparation of life remain unseen or unfulfilled. The universe can orchestrate endlessly, but until the heart is willing to release resistance, the flow cannot fully enter. Trust is not passive. It is the conscious choice to align your inner state with the unseen currents of existence and to surrender to their intelligence. To understand trust is to understand timing, patience, and surrender. The mind may demand proof, the ego may demand control, but the heart knows that the unseen forces of life are always at work, always arranging, always responding. Every delay, every closed door, every subtle nudge is part of an intricate choreography designed to prepare you, to align you, and to guide you. Yet without trust, you resist, you doubt, and you block the very energy that seeks to move through you. Trust is the bridge between intention and experience, the channel through which the universe can deliver fully and gracefully. Many people struggle with trust because they are attached to outcomes. They cling to a vision, a desire, or a specific result, and when it does not appear exactly as imagined, fear and frustration take hold. Yet the universe does not work in rigid adherence to our expectations. It responds to resonance, alignment, and readiness. Trust is not about expecting a specific outcome. It is about believing that the unseen forces are orchestrating what is highest and best for you, even if the path is unclear. It is the willingness to release attachment to timing, method, or form, and to allow life to unfold with intelligence beyond your comprehension. To cultivate trust is to cultivate presence. It is to stop measuring your life by what is visible and immediate, and to start attuning to the subtler currents that move through your days. Trust emerges when you notice the signs, the synchronicities, the preparation, and the patterns that have been forming long before you recognize them. It arises when you see that the delays were necessary, that closed doors were protective, and that every event, encounter, and circumstance has contributed to shaping your readiness. Trust is born from awareness and from a deep understanding that life responds not only to desire, but to alignment, intention, and inner clarity. Fear is the primary obstacle to trust. Fear whispers that the universe is indifferent, that your efforts are meaningless, or that what you long for will never arrive. Yet fear is not reality. It is a projection of the mind, an echo of doubt that can be transformed through conscious awareness and surrender. When you notice fear arising, it is not a signal to resist it or berate yourself. It is an opportunity to practice trust, to observe without attachment, and to reaffirm your alignment with life's intelligence. Every moment of fear resisted with trust strengthens your connection to the unseen and opens the space for manifestation to occur naturally. Trust also requires patience. It is not a switch that flips instantly. It is a practice, a way of being that develops over time. Just as the universe takes time to orchestrate events, to align circumstances, and to prepare the unfolding of desires, so too must the individual cultivate patience in order to fully receive. Patience and trust are intertwined. One cannot exist without the other. To trust is to allow life the time it needs, to remain centered amid uncertainty, and to maintain faith in the rhythm and intelligence of the unfolding process. Another dimension of trust is surrender. Surrender does not mean passivity or resignation. It means choosing to release the illusion of control and to participate consciously in the flow of life. It is the understanding that while you shape your thoughts, intentions, and inner state, the universe orchestrates the circumstances that bring them into manifestation. Surrender is the ultimate expression of trust. It is the alignment of effort with allowance, action with acceptance, and desire with patience. When surrender meets trust, the path clears, resistance falls away, and the unseen currents move freely to bring forth what has long been waiting for you. Trust is the final unlocking because it transforms everything that has come before. It validates the preparation, honors the closed doors, amplifies the synchronicities, and channels the signals of your mind and heart into tangible reality. Without trust, all alignment remains latent and all intention remains incomplete. With trust, however, the invisible becomes visible, the unseen becomes tangible, and the long-held desires and intentions flow into your life with clarity, timing, and grace. To live in trust is to live in harmony with the intelligence of the universe. It is to move through life with an open heart, a receptive mind, and a steady belief that what is meant for you will arrive precisely when it is ready. It is to recognize that life is never random, never indifferent, and never silent. The universe has been listening, responding, and preparing all along, and trust is the final key that allows this work to fully manifest. So, release fear, embrace patience, honor the preparation, and allow trust to be your guide. In trust, the final unlocking occurs, and the flow of life moves through you effortlessly, powerfully, and completely.